Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, February 22nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarification points. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker number one, SOXS, and another good solid move here for the day. Now, as I speak right now, you can see last 30 minutes not going so well. However, one little 30-minute section, does not make or break your chart. I guess sometimes it could, but more times than not, you can't just say that, oh, it's game over just because this had a red candle here. But overall, let's map out some of the newer areas of resistance. And the main battleground that I think is worth keeping an eye on from a resistance standpoint, right up here around that area at $4.85. Going through the history of things, you can see that, now this is not exact, but broadly speaking, right there acted as resistance, got up in the general area right there, resistance, general area right there, very, very close right there, and then just flat out was rejected right there at that level. So 485 going to be that main area of resistance if it curls back upwards. But wow, as I speak, this thing continues to drop further and further down. Now, from an overarching standpoint, everything is still perfectly fine because from the bigger picture, you just want to watch that purple line right there, the 50-period moving average, keyword there being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher, which basically serves as a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, as long as the price stays above the trend line that's moving in the upwards direction, then that in and of itself implies the price is building those higher bases. But no doubt about it, last 30 minutes here looking a bit shaky, but big picture wise still have plenty of opportunity, plenty of wiggle room to stay above that 50-period moving average. But if this thing does curl back upwards, then yeah, all eyes on public enemy number one, 485. Next one here, ticker symbol EBS, and a good little pattern here has formed. So let's get this drawn into play. So we have the resistance part of the pattern right here. We have the support part of the pattern right there. And then, whoops, let me change this to green to represent the support part of the pattern, and then maybe make it all easier to visualize. Keep it one color. So resistance, support, big upwards move here. For you golfers out there, golf hole down here, this would be a bull pennant pattern. And while nothing is guaranteed, is it plausible? Is it reasonable to think that if the price can come up here and break up through that level, that break in and of itself, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, fair enough. But is it reasonable to think that a break of that level could create that much more buying pressure and momentum? That is certainly a plausible outcome. So if you like stocks down below $5, you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one, ticker symbol VYTX. And again, another pattern here. So I'm going to go through this one a little quicker because you just heard me say all this stuff. So I want to respect your time and not just sit here and be a broken record on the things that you just heard me talk about. So change that to green. And then just because I can't help myself, let's keep it one color for visualization's sake. So resistance, support, nice upwards move here. Golf hole down here, you could call this a bull flag, bull pennant, but the same general premise is true, is that it's consolidating right now, but if this thing can curl itself upwards, get the breakthrough there, then that break in and of itself could very plausibly create additional momentum and all of that, just because you got a lot of people watching, and if a lot of people start behaving the same way, then you're going to get predicted outcomes, and then more people are going to behave, hence the potential self-fulfilling prophecy. But as traders, whether it's a self-fulfilling prophecy or not, we're just looking to make price movements, and that's what this bull pennant pattern here is creating. Next one here, ticker symbol MOTS, and a couple of key levels here to watch very closely headed into Thursday. Although I will say this, last 30 minutes, sort of a buzzkill. I'm not saying that it's destroyed the chart, but what's interesting about this chart is that it pulled back. And at this moment, it's always a little nerve-wracking because it's a valid question to say, uh-oh, is this some sort of pump and dump? Is this thing just going to drop straight down? But then all of a sudden, the price did go sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price went sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed this is the bottom, pullback is over, and for sure guaranteed this thing's going to head back upwards. Now, it certainly becomes more plausible, but not a guarantee, and that's why, like I said, this last 30 minutes, a bit sketchy right now in terms of this bigger pullback. But let's get this area of support mapped out because this is technically speaking the bottom of the channel, of the sideways channel that is formed. So that's really what it's all about moving forward. It's pretty straightforward at this point. Bottom of the channel right there at about 94.5 cents. Top of the channel up there at $1.19. And the question just becomes, who is ultimately going to win out? Are the bears going to win out with a break to the downside, or the bull is going to recover, push back upwards with the wind to the upside. That's going to be the big question moving forward. So if you like right around this penny stock range and you like these sorts of patterns, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMC, and it's right now at a very, very important level. Now, I do want to note that for anybody that watched yesterday's video, you know that I talked about that area of support right there, and check it out. Opening 30 minutes, came down there, bounced off it, beautiful move back upwards, but has once again rolled back over. And to give credit where credit's due, so far so good. The price is staying right around this general vicinity right here at about $4.55. So that's going to be the main question mark moving forward is, can this area continue to hold strong? So far so good, but it is also, to be fair, kind of hanging on by the skin of its teeth right now. If there is continuation, then the next key level of support would then be down there at the pink line, which represents the very famous 200 period moving average. Now, if the price breaks below 455, is that mean that for sure it's going to drop down there? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that would technically be the next overarching level from the support side, or from the charting side of things. But yeah, definitely going to be the main dynamic right now is what happens at 455. Can it hold? If it does bounce, then the main area of resistance can be right up there, that purple line, 50 period moving average. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to get signed up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area on the webpage you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. Next one here, ticker symbol IOVA, and just an absolutely beast move today. There's no other way to kind of describe it. It's essentially just, broke out this opening 30 minutes and has slowly grinded higher and higher. So from a resistance standpoint, not a whole lot can be said. I mean, yeah, sure, you could just say in the resistance, say, well, if you want to play a breakout, just buy it as it goes to new highs. But with something this strong, in my opinion at least, and you are obviously more than welcome to disagree, I think a pullback is probably a more risk-wise, if that's a term, way to approach this, with the first key level of a potential pullback being right there at the 1475 mark, and the next level after 1475, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of requiring a deeper pullback, right there around $13.40. So those would be the two main areas that I think are fascinating from a pullback standpoint. And then just as far as the general overall health of the chart, as I've already talked about, just watch that purple line, 50 period moving average, as it moves itself higher and higher. As long as the price stays above that trend line, then the overall trend is still plenty fine. But as of now, very powerful day. We'll see if it does pull back at all and give people a little bit better of a risk-reward type entry. Next one here, TSLA, Tesla. And started off the day very, very nicely, but then unfortunately pulled back. Now, when it pulled back, it's not like anything totally collapsed, but it has given a little bit more data where I'm going to go ahead and adjust this area of resistance right up here now to that 198.75 mark. You can see now essentially 3 times now, once, twice, and then 3 times, although the third time the price got up above it. But that general area has been a problem, and every time the price has got up there, it's just like, everybody slams the momentum or slams the brake on the momentum, and then it just runs out of steam and rolls back over. But also, to be fair, before you even put too much emphasis on that level, price first needs to get back above that purple line there in the near term, that 50 period moving average. In terms of levels of support, if this thing does roll back over, then keep an eye on that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. And this is why I harp on moving averages quite a bit, because check it out. Classic, beautiful example of it holding support and then getting a very nice bounce into today. And then, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that level. It's served its purpose for now. But those are going to be the main levels here for Tesla. So, yeah, disappointing day relative to how it started off. But also, to be fair, good solid final 30 minutes. We'll see if that momentum can be built upon on Thursday. Next one, SOUN. And this one is, I don't want to say lost its popularity because people are still talking about it, but the volume has dropped off quite a bit. But it has continued to maintain its gains, which is one of those situations where sometimes people start to forget about things, and then all of a sudden, before they know it, they're like, oh, I can't believe I lost track of it. And that seems like a potential scenario here, because you look down here at the volume, and you can see volume has dropped off quite a bit. Yet, volume dropping off, yet there's still a little upward slope to things, so the price is still holding gains and slowly putting those higher lows, which once more does not guarantee anything. And I know I've said that, and I'll say it a million more times because I want to hammer that home, but it does certainly make it more plausible with the key level of resistance being right up there around $4.08. So in some senses, you have basically a big kind of little ascending triangle here that's slowly forming that's quietly forming. So does this, does the noise start to pick back up, volume start to surge back in, and then you get a good break up through there? Worth at least keeping an eye on, especially if you like this price range. Next one, ticker symbol SOGP, and sort of a bizarre chart because it, was looking great and then pulled back a little bit, but then the last part of the day, really so that 30-minute session, big pullback. But with all that said, the price still has a couple of key levels of support to potentially maintain it, with the first level being right there around that $4 mark. And then, yeah, you guessed it, maybe you're saying he's going to talk about the 50-period moving average, isn't he? Yes, I absolutely am, because it is a moving average. So there's a real possibility that at some point tomorrow, you're going to have the 50-period moving average basically right at that area, which could create almost a double whammy of support. So definitely keep an eye on that from a pullback standpoint. In terms of areas of resistance, right now you have a very nasty downwards trend right here. So you can keep an eye on that trend line right there. But yeah, the sellers have shown back up, but the chart does still have a chance to build that higher base. So from an overall health standpoint, that still remains intact. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to go up, this one will also go up. And you can see the last 30 minutes today for the NASDAQ, very, very impressive movement here, this last 30 minutes. And ultimately, things were looking shaky. The price had broken down below that area of support that I talked about previously. But due to the very bullish nature of that last 30 minutes, the price not only got back up to that area of support, it closed way up above it. So in other words, 54, 55, 54.50, whatever you want to call it, right around that area, remains a key area of support, and indeed ultimately did hold as support today. Now, with all that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and adjust this now that we have more data, and with the level being down there right around 53.80. But to be fair, again, that level still did hold. So from that angle, a good recovery, and it keeps the chart bullish from that angle of things. And then what I'm also curious about now is, due to this last 30 minutes, there is this trend line here that formed, but you can see the price was able to break above it, which now brings about the always exciting question to ask: is this the start of something even bigger? Is this breakout, is this upwards move just getting warmed up? It broke out, but is there more momentum to come? To be fair, maybe not. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. That is totally possible, but that is a two-sided coin, because maybe this is the start of something much bigger, and this thing is getting ready to rock and roll to the upside. So that's certainly a grab your popcorn type moment. Got the trend line break. This occurred on good solid volume, which you can see down here. So is this the start of something bigger? Let's see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely go get signed up for that free live webinar. It'll be very soon, Thursday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you traded today. Give me your watch list for tomorrow. Just say hi. But those two things really help out these videos and help out the channel. So I thank you in advance for doing that. So definitely go get signed up for that free training. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.